Hey guys, Micah here with the Disney Time Podcast, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be showing you remaking some Disney songs. We're going to start a new series on remaking Disney songs. The first one that I want to show you today is over here. I've got it in my DAW right now, so let's go head over to the DAW. Alright, so now we're in Studio One. This is version Studio One Professional 5. I just upgraded it. I started this project out in Studio One 4, but I migrated it over to Studio One 5. So here we are in the DAW. The song that I first did here is "When You Wish Upon a Star." So I'm gonna go through, what I did for the process, how I layered it, what I have for each channel, and then you could hear the effects I put in, the mix that I did. So first of all, "When You Wish Upon a Star," classic Disney song from Pinocchio. The first thing that I did actually was I actually took the "When You Wish Upon a Star" sheet music right here. I brought in the chords, and then I used some chords that were the minor chord. So this was in C major originally, so I transposed it to the minor chord when I brought in some chords. And I'll let you hear what the original was first. This is the progression for "When You Wish Upon a Star" first. Let's take a listen. All right, so these 8 bars right here, that is the progression for "When You Wish Upon a Star." What I did was I moved it to a minor key. All right, so yeah, that was my minor key progression. So I moved it over, starting from that C major key. I moved it over to the minor key, and then basically what you want to do, what I did was I built layers. So I built layers upon that track. First thing I did was I sang "When You Wish Upon a Star." All right, here we go. So right now, this is my sing track.
You wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. If your heart is in your dream, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star as dreamers do.
So I took a technique, I doubled it up, and I actually pitched up the second track backing vocal. So that one is a full octave higher, and then I added a bunch of effects on it. If you want to, let's take a look here. So I've got a compressor on there. I also have reverb. This is my reverb right there. Second compressor. Then I added a chorus. It's my chorus. Saturation. It's a saturator knob right there. Okay. And then I also have an EQ. This is on the main. This is a track main vocal right there. But the backing vocal is the same thing, except it's an octave higher. So you can hear it. There's quite a bit of reverb, and it's pretty compressed. So yeah, that was the first thing I did. Was sing the melody, the song. So the next thing I did was basically I built from the chorus section, and then I arranged it based on that. So the next thing I did was I looked for some good sounding synths. So this is the process saw saw bass. Let's take a listen to how it sounds here. I have it muted, that's why. All right, here we go. So the thing about this, all right, that process saw bass, right? I've been using it because it's more of a future bass sound, and then I layered it again with another serum track here. Let's take a look at this right here. This is what I call the super saw lead. So let's switch it. Same thing, right? The repeating sound is coming from this LFO, right? So let's take a listen to what each one sounds like by itself first in this chorus. I'm gonna actually loop the chorus real quick here. This is the drop. Here we go. All right. So now let's listen to what that first one sounds like. Let's take a listen. All right, so that was the first process saw bass, and now let's listen to the other one, the super saw lead. Let's take a listen. All right, doubled up, layered. Let's hear it. All right, that was the two layers of my chords. Let's now take a listen to the bass that I made. I decided I needed a sub bass and I needed another bass, so I took the same patterns that I had in my synths, and this is the sub bass. It's kind of like a complicated one looking bass, right? Let's listen to how it sounds. So I have an EQ on here too. You could take a look. I cut out the highs. Got to make some headroom. All right, that's the sub, and now here's the regular bass. So I took the bass line, and for the sub, I brought it an octave down. For the bass, I left it basically the bass line from the chords. This is my bass. Let's hear how it sounds. Right, that's the bass. So let's hear how it sounds. This one I also kind of took out some of the highs. You want to keep the lows in there. All right, so let's listen to the bass and sub bass together. And let's put it together with the synths. All right, so that was the bass and sub bass. So now let's get into my drums. So my percussion, I pulled up an impact. So I took some sounds, took a kick here. So let's go to this. Snare, clap, hat. And I created a drum loop based on that. So let's take a listen to my drum loop. All right, one of the things that I did with this drum loop, I added this leveling tool. It's pretty good because you can reduce the peak. I was noticing I was peaking a lot. It was going over my 0 decibels. So I put this leveling tool. I took down the gain a little bit, and it actually helped to level it out. I also had to bring down the master. If you see, I brought it down 2 decibels. So that was That's my impact. So that's my main using the drum kit. But I also added some more percussion. I added this shaker right here. This is a shaker sample that I picked up. So if you want to listen to it, let's take listen right here. That's the shaker. And then I also took this drum loop. It's Hats and Perks. So let's take a listen to this drum loop sample. Threw that in there. Another thing that I wanted to do is fill in some more sound in the kick. So I added an 808. Let's take a listen to the 808. I took some of the depth out of it because it was peaking again. So I took it out. But the thing is, I'll tell you guys, I'm going to mix this and I'm going to make it come out. So right now it doesn't sound too hit. It doesn't punch like you would expect an 808 to punch. But, you know, it will when I mix it down. Here's a tom. There we go. So I just took a tom. I made it a very short. So now let's take a listen to my percussion. I'm going to put my percussion section right here. Let's go. Yeah, so there's my percussion section. So I didn't want it to fill it out. I wanted to fill it out with a little bit more because, I mean, the full thing didn't sound enough. So I'll show you what I did here. I added this crowd noise. Let's take a listen. If you can hear it, it's literally a loop of crowd noise. And I added a few inserts onto that too, if you want to hear it. I mean, this is what I did. Put a saturation. I EQ'd it as well. It's all mids in there. Let's see what else I did with this. That's it. Just saturation, EQ. I actually did the same thing with this other Foley fill. It's chant noise. Here, let's listen to that right here. It's coming up. So it goes, hey, hey. But it's very short, so it's not really A. It's like that's the sound it makes. Okay, so basically, I put that all together, right? Oh, the other thing that I did add that I didn't get to show you guys yet was the ARP. So I created an ARP. So it's an arpeggio right here. This is my arpeggio. Let's show you guys. That's the arpeggio. Let's listen to the sound. If it will make a sound. Let's go to it. All right, that's the ARP, right? So I created an actual ARP right here. You can see it. Goes up and down, up and down. Let's take a listen. That repeats. So that's pretty much what I did for the drop. I mean, that's and then I took the drop and then I arranged it. Another thing I did here was sidechain. This is the kick. So I took the kick and I sidechained pretty much. I made a send track right here. It's my bus, and I put a compressor so that it will sidechain to the kick, and that's my kick. The drum loop that I made. So everything is sidechained to that. All right, so I'll show you guys what it sounds like. So basically, once I got that down, that was it, man. I was ready for. I mean, that's how it goes. Another thing is with the melody piano. I'll show you. So I did an automation on that. If you take a look at this. It's a volume automation. I turned off the melody piano here, but I turned it on in the second chorus, so you'll be able to see that. Basically, all that stuff that I was showing you, let's take a listen to what it sounds like right here. I have it on loop. Let's go.
difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. If your heart is in your dream, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star and dreamers dream.
All right. So that was the first chorus, okay? So now there's some other things that I added that you're not going to see. So this is a really cool thing that I did right here. First of all, the pads. I had some intro pads in here. So this is my intro pads. It's right here. Right? Okay, so that's intro pad. I had some additional pads that I added in toward the build up for the drop. So here's the other. Right. So the thing that I did with this that's really cool is if you check out my inserts, I use this effect called movement. It's made by Output. So basically it's pretty cool what it does. Your input goes here into these two different sides. So there's a left and a right that it will go in one way, come out the other. But you can make it do things like there's an effect. The left channel has a filter. The right channel has filter, distortion, and reverb. And basically it'll pan left to right with these two channels as the output. So if you want to take I'm going to let you guys listen to this real quick here. See how it pans left to right? That's what it's doing right there. So that was the intro pad. Now take a listen to the additional pad. See the additional pad, I also use movement, but it's a different effect. It's got filter, delay, comp on both sides. So that's the intro and more pads. There's a couple other things that I added. I added a riser. And the 808 has a buildup. So there's a riser here. There's a fill. Let's listen to the whole thing.
difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. Your heart is in your dream. No request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star, dreamers dream. You wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. If your heart is in your dream, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star, dreamers dream.
All right, so that was the whole thing. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments if you want to see more. I've got some more that I'm actually working on, some more things that I'm gonna do like this. Thanks for watching. I hope that you learned something or that you enjoyed. And until next time, keep your watches synced to Disney time. See you guys.